going to dive into a story that really all comes down to one single powerful question. A question that, believe it or not, would end up challenging everything. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you just had this question burning inside you? You know, a question that felt, I don't know, not just important, but absolutely necessary to ask? And we're not talking about some complex philosophical thing here. It's the simplest question in the world. Why? You know, it's funny. It's a question we ask all the time as kids, but somewhere along the way, we kind of forget how powerful it is. Especially when asking why means you're going against the grain, right? When it's just so much easier to stay quiet and conform. Well, this is the story of someone who chose that harder path. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're stepping into a world where if you were a young woman, your future was, well, it wasn't yours to decide. It was like a map, already drawn for you by tradition, with these really clear, really unchangeable borders. Her world was basically defined by four things. The kitchen, that's where she was supposed to work. The house, that was her domain to manage. Marriage, that was the end goal, the ultimate destination. And maybe the most important one, silence. That was supposed to be the soundtrack to her life. Yeah, dreams, questions, those were definitely not part of the plan. But in this world where everyone was expected to just silently accept their role, one girl was different. And what made her different wasn't rebellion, not in the way you might think. It was something simpler, but maybe even more powerful. A deep, relentless curiosity. So it all started pretty simply. Her mother, just following the script that society had written for them, gave her a totally normal, expected command: learn cooking. And boom, there it is. That's the first pebble tossed into the calm pond of tradition. Just one single word. Not no, she didn't refuse. She just asked, why? And that, right there, was the beginning of everything. And her mom's answer was pretty straightforward. So you can take care of yourself. And you know what? That made total sense to her. See, she wasn't refusing to learn. She was just refusing to accept things blindly. For her, asking why wasn't about defiance. It was the only way she could actually understand the world. So she did it. She learned to cook. She learned all her household duties. But as you can imagine, as the years went by, the expectations started to get bigger. It went from just daily chores to, well, a decision that was going to define her entire life. And here it is, the big one, the ultimate directive. We're going to get you married. And of course, she asks her signature question: why? The answer she gets back might be the weakest reason for doing anything ever. Because everyone does. This moment right here, it just perfectly captures the whole conflict, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this immense pressure of society just doing what it's always done. And on the other, you have the simple, powerful clarity of one person's logic. Her response: just because everyone does it doesn't mean I should. That was it. That was the moment her path split off from everyone else's for good. And that moment, that refusal, it actually opened a brand new door. Her father, who happened to be a teacher, saw this thirst she had for reasons, not just rules. And he did something amazing. He introduced her to a world she was never, ever supposed to enter: the world of knowledge. And wow, did she thrive in this new world? But her whole approach was different. While all the other students were just memorizing facts, cramming answers for tests, she was on a totally different quest. She was digging deeper, trying to find the foundations, the reasons behind the answers. Well, word started to get around about this girl with this incredibly deep understanding. Her reputation grew and grew until one day a royal invitation shows up. Turns out the king was looking for the absolute brightest mind in the entire kingdom, and her name was on the list. She was being summoned to the ultimate test. Can you just picture this? The moment she walks into the royal court, a hall filled completely with men. You could just feel the air crackle with shock and, yeah, disdain. Whispers started rippling through the room. They just couldn't believe a woman would dare to even stand in their space. Those whispers didn't stay whispers for long. They turned into a direct challenge. A respected scholar gets to his feet and says out loud the one belief that their entire worldview is built on: women have weaker intellect. So what does she do? She doesn't argue, she doesn't get angry. She meets this huge, monumental statement with a super calm, totally disarming question. She just asks, Who said that? The scholar, kind of thrown off, just replies, our forefathers. And this is the checkmate. She steps forward and delivers the final brilliant piece of logic that just completely shatters their whole argument. It is a perfect question with absolutely no escape. Think about it. If women were never given the opportunity, how could their weakness ever be proven? No opportunity means no data, and no data means no proof. Game over. And the whole court just fell completely, totally silent. And in that silence, you could almost hear it. This age-old belief, a belief held up by nothing more than tradition and the fact that no one ever questioned it, it just crumbled. When you look back, her journey is this really clear path. And it was all forged by that one simple question. It started at home, just asking why. That led her to knowledge, and that knowledge gave her the confidence and the tools to challenge the highest court in the land. And by doing that, she ended up inspiring generations. You see, what happened that day was so much bigger than just one person winning a debate. Her victory wasn't just about being smarter or better at arguing. It was a huge, fundamental crack in the very foundation of their society's prejudice. She proved that a belief that people have held for generations can be completely undone by one single, perfectly placed question. And really, that brings us to the heart of this whole story, right? It's such a powerful reminder that curiosity isn't just a personality trait, it's a tool for change. The act of asking why is an act of creation. It creates understanding, and it creates brand new possibilities where there were none before. So, I guess we'll leave you with this thought. In your own world, in your job, in your life, what's that accepted rule that you've just never really examined? What's the thing that everyone does? And what do you think might happen if you found the courage to just ask why?